got violent towards them, you all stepped in and a brawl broke out. With 5 of the mercenaries, 3 are dead, 1 is apprehended, and 1, very wounded, ran off into the woods, escaping. Kopi has just dragged one over here in a headlock to the carriage that Almer's still on.
Mm-hmm.
The flaming sphere is still drying out and starting to burn the grass beneath it over here, and a moonbeam is radiating down on this corpse and onto the Balgura. Balgura just passed its save, but you all don't know that yet until Iokas can get a chance to shout out what's going on and drop his concentration. At which point we'll roll a d6 and see how long the Balgura lasts. So Balgura's done. Almer, you see Kopi dragging up this guard by his head whenever you get a chance.
Okay. Did my moonbeam hurt the thing already, or?
On the start of its turn, it will. It did prior to this.
Okay, alright. I'm trying to remember. I'm holding, like, okay, I'm gonna start, like, just tying the reins back to our remaining beast of burden.
They were severed.
Yeah, and I'll just tie both of them so that it's in the center.
The other one is stomping off down the road somewhere.
Yeah, maybe we'll catch it later. Who knows? I gotta think one of these could probably easily pull this.
I'll call it an object interaction to tie the reins together. You still have your action and bonus and movement.
I don't know. I just kind of look at Kopi, raise an eyebrow. Y'all good?
Yes. Stopped this one from fleeing. I figured we can find out who they work for and what's going on in this area.
Fair. Okay.
The mercenary that is apprehended by Kopi will use his action to show that he is in a surrendering position. If there's nothing else you'd like to do, Almer.
I'll just use my action to just kind of calm this beast so that if anything else frightening, he's a little less freaked out.
Give me an animal handling check. This one has been pretty good-tempered.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, and now he's back to full calm. Iokas, you start thinking about your actions for the Balgura, and you realize it is no longer under your control. It's free action for you to drop the concentration, which then starts the timer on how long it lasts.
Okay, so it's made its charisma save. It's no under my control, and I can't just make another charisma save to reinstate it, right?
No, it is now free, and it will hang around for an hour if you don't drop concentration. And when you do drop concentration, it then gets a d6 rounds, which I've just rolled in real life and have in front of me, of how long it will hang around for before it disappears.
Okay, I drop concentration because I am going to I am going to attempt to cast the spell because I have no hands.
You also have spell slots. Is it a cantrip? Or
it is my Misty Visions.
All right. Do you inform your party that you're no longer the master of the Balgura?
Yes, he will yell out, "The Balgura is free!" As he tries, do I just need to make an Arcana check?
Yeah, it is now DC 14 for you.
I'm glad I yelled out to warn them.
Yep, the Misty Visions start to appear and then slowly fade out before they can take any real shape.
No, he's going to just go hide behind this tree. That's his turn.
That's a solid move.
My head whips around at you. What?
Kopi.
I had a great plan, guys. It just fell apart.
I can't see the Balgura, can I?
Actually, it's pretty big. You can see like a vague shape of it, but it has most cover. Kind of half hanging off the top of the tree, moonbeam burning its back.
In a giant moonbeam.
Cool. Do we know if it's resistant to fire damage?
As a demon, you would think it is most likely resistant to fire damage.
I will chill touch it. 14?
14, I believe,
Oh,
is
there you-
one too low.
Dang. Cool. And I will bonus action try and hide behind this tree.
Okay, go ahead and roll me stealth. Yeah.
That is my turn.
Dante, you hear some sort of faint shouting and more fighting going on above. You saw Kopi dragging one surrendering mercenary up to the carriage.
Maybe muted. Oh, there you are.
No, okay. He's gonna move up there, just kind of like muttering and grumbling under his breath. And that's kind of it.
You can dash if you like and get another 30 feet.
No, I'm fine right there.
Fair. I like you and Eokus' strategy here. So you get a little closer and observe. Belgura's turn. Let's see. Oh. So I checked the Belgura's passive perception, and it is a 15.
Ah.
But let's burn that bitch.
Yeah, so it looks around, attempts to run out, and is first burned by the moonbeam.
I am scrolling to see if I have the one I cast, because I no longer know what level it was at.
Oh shit.
Or it's okay. I'm just gonna scroll. There it is.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna hit damage.
2d10 radiant, and it is a what save?
Constitution.
Okay, I'll never remember.
Oh, that reminds me. Is my flaming sphere still there?
Yeah, you didn't lose concentration. It is over here by this tree. So yeah,
Okay.
it fails and takes
Did
10
a
radiant.
demon just fail a Constitution save? I have a heart attack and shock.
Belgura gets 40 feet of movement. 35, 40, leaps down off that tree, kind of rolls, gets back up, looks around. 10, 15, jumps onto this tree, leaps down. 25, 30, and we'll see Kopi and the carriage will step up to there. He's going to take one fist strike at Kopi. 23
Yep, that's gonna hit.
for 14 bludgeoning damage. That's max
That-
damage.
That thing's on our side,
Yep.
right?
And then it will take one fist strike
Not
at
anymore.
the carriage. 14 will not get through the damage threshold thing to hit of the carriage. And then it will have one bite attack at Kopi.
No.
10. You're too small and too quick for it.
No.
Tuck under the bite as it lurches over. You get this whiff of like horrid demonic gorilla breath. That is it for the Belgura as it rears up and beats its chest and shouts out in abyssal. Almer, you're up.
Yes. On each of my turn, I can use it. Oh, I can move my beam 60 feet a turn. I thought it was only 30.
Holy fuck, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to use my action to move that moonbeam. This is 60 right here.
Sweet.
Cool.
Vanishes in and out and fades and then reappears, casting down on the Belgura again.
Oh, I like to think of it just like a fucking laser beam going through.
Hell yeah.
And then bonus action stuff, eh? Right, Kopi, you're looking okay-ish, right?
Not too hurt.
Let's bump you up just a tad, okay? I'll give you a healing word. Just the first level. Give you a little healing.
Thank you.
That's all I do, I guess. I'm in the carriage, right?
No, you're at like the range. You're on the seat.
That's right. Okay, can I just use my movement to like get into the carriage and shut the door?
Of course.
There we go.
Jump on down, swing around, open, and shut the door.
Mhm.
Uh,
And then I'll go on the side of the carriage. I'll shut
Okay.
both doors.
this guy is going to. Fuck, he was told to stay there, but he kind of doesn't want to stay there, so he's gonna.
I'll hold the door open and wave him in.
10, 15 feet. Yeah, he'll roll around, seeing you jump out and get into the carriage.
Keep your head down.
he definitely does. He's low as can be. That's it for both of you. Eocus. You can see through the tree as you kind of peer on the tree. Big Balgura attacking Kopi, punching the carriage.
Would Eocus be able to know the weaknesses of these demons?
You know they're fairly resistant to most. They don't have so many weaknesses, but they do have resistances. So I'd say you know fire, cold, and lightning at least. Most
Okay.
demons, fiends in general, resistant to those.
He will then call out, "It is resistant to the natural elements. Give it 30 seconds to dispel." And then he will attempt to cast his spell again, which he can. Nice.
Nice. So where are you dropping your misty visions and what is it?
He is dropping his misty visions. Right.
It's okay.
Right.
I'm not concentrating on that anymore.
Right there. And it is just a warrior kind of appearing out of the bush. Another one of these thugs holding a spear threateningly.
All right.
That is turn.
Kopi.
Did I hear whether Eocus was ordering it around in common
It was
earlier?
through his thoughts, I believe.
Yeah. Eocus
Right.
would have. I think he just gives it mental commands, isn't it?
I believe, if you want to confirm that.
Never
Right,
mind
well-
then. I will not take a risk on it understanding common. And I am going to just stab him.
When in doubt.
No,
It's just-
okay, I'm gonna disengage, and I'm gonna climb up this tree, and from up the top of this tree, I am going to tilt touch him.
That will do it. Skeletal hands reach out from the ground and drag him down
Wow.
for good, solid, massive DPS damage.
Massive necrotic damage. He ain't getting any. He
You
ain't
have
getting
a
any
bonus
hit
action?
points.
No, you disengaged as a bonus. Yeah.
Disengaged.
All right, Dante.
Is Inferno?
You see this thing beating on its chest, roaring, punching the carriage, trying to eat Kopi. There we go.
He becomes a horse.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
Well, it's in range of my flaming sphere, so I'm just going to bonus action ram the sphere into it.
Nice.
Need to find where it is. Lots of firebolts, apparently.
5 foot, 2d6 fire damage on a failed save. Move it, ram it into something, has to make a saving throw. Okay, so it needs a dex saving throw. Which it passes, so it takes half of 2d6 fire.
Okay.
We cooking them though. We cooking them. Don't walk through where those Venn diagrams connect.
Yeah, please don't. For 11, half to 5, reduced to 2 fire. But that's
Sunburn
a bonus
'em.
action to move the sphere.
Yeah. What? I haven't moved yet, so
You do have your movement and your action still.
there. 50 feet.
It is looking pretty haggard at this point. When it's not roaring or beating its chest, it's big, heavy, labored breathing.
Oh shit! I could be within 30 feet. That's good. Well, he didn't say anything about poison.
Nope.
Or
He did not.
acid.
Did not mention acid at all.
So
Sure,
I
there's
will
more acid
cast
spells in the game.
acid arrow.
Good choice.
14 is one too low.
Oof.
I
Can you
wish
do
could-
a thing with your abilities?
No, the only thing I can do I technically already used, which adds my intelligence modifier to one of my acid or fire attacks.
Okay.
I wish cutting words worked with like making something hit, but it's that there's like the war cleric thing that does that.
Or bark inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta use that on my
I
turn.
know. That acid arrow just nails the tree behind the Belgura. And
Damn. He moved. You all saw him move, right? It was gonna hit. He moved.
well, everyone's either behind a tree or in a carriage. So
I'm like, I hope he doesn't scratch the paint.
That's my turn.
the
And
Belgura,
this is gonna hurt.
yeah, the Belgura is looking at Kopi in the tree. It ping in the side of the head with a little firebolt, with a flaming sphere. Turns around, looks about, sees you launch this acidic arrow at it. It moves out of the way deftly, and then charges you 40 feet. And I double check its fist range.
Doesn't it take moonbeam damage for
It
started?
does take moonbeam damage.
I'm just gonna. It was a 2d10, right?
It is a 2d10.
Let's roll
And
it
it
naturally
makes
for
a
now.
Deck save.
Con.
Con. Oh, same thing.
It's only +1, so it's still
Yep.
a 10.
Exactly. Still a failure.
Yay.
For 11 radiant, it is barely hanging on.
Ooh, baby!
As it gets up to Dante and just. And you can see it can't quite reach you.
My God loves my work today.
Let's see. As it gets up directly in front of you, Dante,
Mhm.
it disappears out of your sight.
Loud sigh.
Then it is Almer's turn.
I have a tiny bit of knowledge of demonology because of just my goddess. I'm gonna fucking move that moonbeam to where he was.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Shit.
that's not what I want.
I got you.
Yeah, there we go. Oh no, I did it again.
Smart move.
Right there. I think he's still fucking there. I think he's goddamn invisible.
Alright.
And
Just head out the window or crack open the door real quick.
I just rolled out the window. I stick my head out. I think he's still there. Shoot him. And I will. Oh man, we gotta hit this. We gotta hit it. I give Kopi a
That's what
bardic
he said.
inspiration. I give Kopi a bardic inspiration.
There we go.
Kill him! He's right there in the beam.
Kopi's all barked up. This thug is in the carriage, kind of sticking his head out behind you, looking at what's going on. Eocus.
Please tell me they have like that one scene, where like one person sticks their heads out and like the rest of the group stacks.
Yeah, exactly. He's just right behind him. Huh?
Eokis is going to use his action to recall his familiar,
Okay.
Unfortunately,
and
his familiar was the Bulgura.
and then he is dead. Then, and as a bonus move, I don't remember how that works. So that is what he's doing for this turn. He is going to ask for an update
Okay.
because he
And,
thinks the battle might be done.
Kopi, Almer's words reach you. You have a nice vantage point on where it was from here. You can see the moonbeam ping at like a video game waypoint. It'll be a normal roll if you want to attack this. Possibly invisible, if not, if present creature.
I hang on.
I'm hanging on baitedly.
Loading.
I will. You know what? I'm gonna jump down and just charge right at where I think it was,
You bump
and
into it right there. You stop.
I
5 feet
fucking knew it!
and I would like to try and grapple it.
Nice. Athletics versus athletics.
Yep. He is large.
He is large, but it's not a disadvantage until he's huge.
Cool.
Oh wait, are you small?
I'm small, so
Yeah.
I think he has advantage on this.
Yes, he does indeed. You think he'd be better at this?
Wait, is he
Yeah,
actually
Bardic.
still there?
He is actually still there. He turned invisible. They have innate spell casting.
Cool. So I grab hold of him.
Yep. Do you have a second? No, you don't have a second. You're a rogue wizard.
That's my turn.
Okay.
I had to bonus action dash to get there.
Dante, it reappears it doesn't reappear in front of you, but as Kopi grabs hold of it and the light reflects off the moonbeam, you can kind of see there definitely is a creature there. Kopi's struggling with this large force.
Right. Wait, do I actually go before it? I thought I went.
No, you're at the end of the turn. Yeah. It starts it off.
So technically, no, he's too far away from that because I think that can only move
20 feet, I believe.
20 or 30.
Maybe 30. Hang on, I think I still have the spell up.
It's either that or you're recasting.
30 feet.
Yeah, it's still too far.
Yep.
Let's see. So I'm going to. So I can generally see where he's at. Because
if you make an attack, it will be a straight roll between all the different factors and that you saw its last location.
Screw it. We'll try acid arrow again.
You're not within melee, so you do get a straight roll. Point blank, you aim up. Go ahead and roll me that damage. You can hold shift.
Nice.
8d4.
That is
Nice.
5. Because I get to add my intelligence modifier to one acid or fire attack.
Amazing. Point blank, hard to see, basically invisible target. You aim up, try to go midpoint, shoot, arrow flies out, and as it pierces through the mouth and the back of the head and the Balgora dies, it reappears with the arrow lodged in it.
It actually should have taken half damage last time because it's as a splash effect.
Ooh, nice.
Oh well.
You live, you learn. It drops into the moonbeam, turns to a weird black goo very quickly, and then dissipates and returns to the Hells, probably to get demoted.
Hells or Abyss?
Abyssal Hells. In this world, it's kind of like one big thing. Imagine the Hells are platforms, and the Abyss is all the shit below that.
Got it.
I think it's dead.
I do too.
Send it back to its plane, but the sentiment is the same.
You have one living mercenary with you in the cart, Almer, and everything else seems clear. No one else is watching you that you can pick up on with passive perceptions.
I'm also going to drop concentration on the flaming sphere.
That is reasonable.
Yeah, I dropped the.
We out of
moonbeam.
initiative?
We are out of initiative.
I'll head into the.
Into the carriage.
Yeah.
Everyone can pile back into the nice interior of the carriage. I assume the mercenary would end up being in the middle of two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Right. What's your name?
Benjamin, good to meet y'all.
That
you
is
wanna
yet to be
explain
seen.
Everything that's going on?
Nothing much. People over there got something. We want the thing. They're not supposed to be in the building anyway. 2 for 1. You know how work goes.
And who do you work for?
I'm a proud scion of Baco. I work for Baco.
Does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah, you can all make history checks.
All of us.
Oh, I have to think for a second before I say things, since you're all from weird places and stuff.
As a archivist, I should have took proficiency in that.
You would think.
You would
Yeah.
think, but you're just
Yeah.
really
I
bad at
didn't.
that portion of the job.
Yeah, Almer and Kopi, you're not sure. You've heard a bunch of different names of stuff. It all kind of blends together at one point. Eocus, that name pops up a lot, normally in incident reports where something major has happened, or like civil
Okay.
disruption has gone down. Dante, these guys are wild. They hate the way Isdell works, but they also hate most of the people in it. So instead of fighting for change or anything along those lines, they start fires, poison water wells, blow up buildings.
Terrorists, okay.
Yeah.
Hey!
So you're literally just a terrorist at this point, right?
Radical advocate for change.
What change is that?
Change of all of this?
Yes, but I could burn this entire force down and everyone in it, and that is change. That is not a good change, though.
It's a start.
It's not really a start, it's just an end.
It's fine. He's a rebel without the cause. That's all it is.
But that's like letting a wolf into the china cabinet.
I am going to give Kobe some eyes and kind of dart back and forth, and silently, as he's not looking, kind of make a little gesture around his neck, like, maybe this guy's not worth the time.
Okay. Omer, you're talking about a wolf in a butcher shop, where everything just gets devoured.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is that what you're trying to say? Or
I mean, not really, but maybe it's just a cultural thing.
I always heard the wolf in the butcher shop.
I am wondering, why should we keep you alive again?
I did surrender. I've been amicable. I've told you why we're here in the cause.
And nothing taught us we are not lawmen.
And what do I need to do to stay alive?
Well, there needs to be a certain amount of security, I would believe, that there's not going to be any retaliation for what we've done here today.
I don't really get to decide that.
Ah, yes.
If we let you live, what will you do?
Advocate for you if and or when I go back to Baco.
Okay.
And you sure Baco is just not going to pay you for a failed mission?
Sorry. What?
I said, and you're sure Bako is not going to kill you for just a failed mission?
You're
What are you
outside of the
doing?
parameters. Unknown variable.
And if this unknown variable would be perhaps interested into speaking with Bako, would you be willing to be an emissary?
You'd have to bring something of value, but sure we can arrange something.
Your value of emissary is you leaving this carriage alive. Our dealings with Bako will be our own.
Sir, do you want to live?
Yes, I think that's quite obvious.
Okay, I just bash him over the fucking head with my cane and knock him out.
Uh, go ahead and just give me an attack roll. If you
Sure.
hit, I'll say you blindside him.
I'm not trying to like hit. Yeah, obviously. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
trying
no,
to.
exactly. Just to see.
Can I help?
With a
Don't need it.
With a 24, Kopi, seeing Almer move his hand for a strike, goes to begin to ask a question. He turns his head away. You bash him from ear to jaw, like into his nose. Passes out, head kind of lurching over on Kopi like a person who fell asleep on an airplane.
Okay, strip his armor off, strip his clothes. We're gonna toss him in the woods about 3 miles over.
Yep, you get some studded
Sounds
leather.
good.
You got a scimitar and a dagger. And yeah, you can go a bit of the ways out of the off the beaten trail, right? You don't want to go like leave him on the road down somewhere, just out into the
No,
woods.
I want him to be confused where he is, though. I don't want
Yeah.
him to be able to see town.
Oh well, there's only one town.
I think we
and
should
that's
like.
it's way further away.
Do you not
Let's also
believe?
just bury him up to his head, so he can breathe and whatnot. But he's
Nah.
gonna wake up and then he's gonna
No.
spend
Just
like
throw him in a
20
tree.
minutes having to dig himself up.
Just throw him in a tree, I think.
Yeah, you know he has a little bit before he wakes up, so you can go, a few thousand feet or so out from the road and just basically half tie him up in a tree or like hoist him up into a tree so he'll wake.
I'm gonna hoist him up by his feet
Exactly, so he'll be upside down and
in
disoriented.
the tree.
And that blood rushing
Yeah.
from his head and to his hands and shit will.
Yeah.
Before
disoriented.
he
And then I'm also gonna set him spinning.
Okay, he twisted around a bunch.
Yeah,
before
like a lot.
before he puts him up though, can I
Yep.
like hand bomb like a really quick letter on a shitty piece of paper?
Yeah, easily.
I'm just gonna write like there's another way to make change. You need to believe more than just the destruction of the current order. If you ever have a change of heart, she's always listening, and I'll put one of the little shitty amulets and I'll tuck it all, roll it up into a ball of paper, put it in his pocket. Well, I guess he has no pocket. I'll put a pouch around his neck.
He has underclothes. I assume he only took the armor.
Oh no, he's fucking naked.
Okay, well in that case, you could take it.
I'll take his underwear
Yep.
and put it around his neck like it's a little pouch, and then I'll
Yep.
put it in the pouch.
All right. Kopi, I believe, was the one who said he was taking away the armor and weapons first, right? Or is that Almer?
No, it was Almer.
I think I
Okay,
said it, yeah.
Then can you give me an investigation check, please, Almer?
Sure, I'm great at those.
As you're taking away his weapons and stripping off his armor, you can see on his clothes beneath that, he does actually have a small pouch. In the pouch is 10 gold, some kind of mushroom, and a letter.
I'll take all of it and then put my letter in the amulet back in the pouch, and I'll hang that around his neck and then leave him nude.
His letter is very short and simple and just reads, items of priority, exterminate them if necessary, RB, like initials RB.
I put this on Eokis's lap, and I'm like, "What do you take a look at this?"
He looks at it. Item is necessary.
As you guys kind of walk back from the woods where you've left them, you go back to the carriage, hang out inside. You're still by this little off-beaten path. You saw the rook stunned and the people run down.
He is spinning a lot.
Yes, he's still spinning. Because he
Yeah.
goes around and then he goes back around and back around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Could Eocus, he is going to nod knowingly and said, just a moment, and he would like to go back to the guy.
He's unconscious, but yeah, you could spend, I'll say, it's been an hour, he's going to be out for 2, it'll take you 30 minutes to get there.
He is going to, he tells the party that everything is fine, I just need to confirm something. He wants to wait till this guy wakes up.
Yeah, another half hour goes by. You can all take a short rest now, if you please.
Could I suggest something to you when you tell us that?
Of course.
Can you still disguise yourself?
He gives you a smile, and his appearance changes to the female Savra that you all would know with the lavender stripe on her robe.
Perfect. And then I'll depart and leave you alone with them.
Yep. And all he is going to do when this person wakes up is tell him he will wake up with a dagger to his throat saying, put your signature on this book.
All right. So you all drag this figure out nude, except for a little pouch with a few basically, not warnings, but like directions of sort, and a guiding amulet. String them up, get them spun around. Eocus changes appearance as you all start trekking back to the wagon. So that means, yeah. So again, you can all take a short rest if you like, but it will be separate. Eocus will be short resting by the strung up mercenary about 1,000 feet so away in the woods, and you all will be taking a short rest in the wagon comfortably. And eventually, after another hour of waiting, Eocus, they do come to, as you're disguised holding a dagger to their throat.
And we get a short rest.
And you all get a short rest. Yes.
Warlock, so stuffs. Yeah, that is, he looks to the prisoner. I will release you and send you back to your master, but you must sign first.
Looks warily at you before just signing Benjin in a very haphazard upside down script. Nice sounds. So it's cartoons or something?
It's supposed to be muted.
He will try to use the sending spell towards him just to say, can you hear me, and see if he sees a reaction.
Let me just... You want to post up your scribe book thing real quick?
I will. Oh, I'll scribe.
You can cast a spelling spell with targeting without using a spell slot or using material components. There we go. So you must write the message on the paper. Unfortunately, at the moment, you're not sure if it will work. We can still hear it.
He asks his familiar with its beak to write the message in the book.
Yes, it is. It's rough. It's a rough time. It takes a little bit, and he looks very confused while it happens. But he does. His name does get in the book, and your message does seem to come across as he responds to the sending spell in your mind.
He will then lay a. Let's see, how much do I have here? Inventory. He will then lay 10 gold down on a stump.
Exactly what we stole from him.
Yep.
There you go, with a dagger next to it. He will then cut the ring 90% of the way cut, where
The rope?
he can... The rope, yeah, the rope. Where he can see, obviously, he'll be able to like break it free imminently. I will be eager to speak with you and your master later for great opportunity. Good day. He will turn and he will head promptly back.
Oh, all right. The Ocus begins traveling back. Almer, Kopi, Dante, you have about an hour without the Ocus.
Hey, Dante, you ever seen a mushroom like this?
I take a look at the mushroom that is shown.
Yep. You can give me a nature check, or if you're gonna sample it at all, you can make me a check with your alchemy tools. And if you're making a check with your alchemy tools, I'm pretty sure you have not advantage, expertise with them, right?
Correct. So it would be
So that'd be
hopefully that
4
Eight.
plus another 4, so 17. And 17 is more than enough.
well.
What?
I'm just trying to, because technically that would double my proficiency modifier.
Yeah, so it'd be a 17.
Yes, sorry, there.
No, it's cool. I just want to make sure there wasn't nothing extra.
Because it should be 6. Yeah, so it should be
no.
plus 10.
There we go, because you have it set to a different skill probably, or it automatically. Oh, you have not proficient clicked, so that is just your modifier. There we go. So yeah, so you have plus. So is a what now?
It should be a plus 10 to whatever the d20 rolled.
Okay, so 19 total. Then if it was 9, 9's the roll plus 10 is 19. Sweet. With a 19 and a very small sliver of the mushroom, you can tell that this is just a magic mushroom. It is a fun trip. It's a rather sizable one. It should be enough for one person for a few hours.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm sure you can talk to your goddess, but if you want to see your goddess, this
No,
could
no.
help.
I have plans for this.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it would take. I'm assuming it would be an ingestible. You might be able to dry it and cut it up and smoke it if you want.
Here's the thing. I don't need convincing that my goddess is real, but non-believers might.
I mean, most non-believers still, believe in the divine in some aspect.
You'd be surprised in this area. But here's the thing. Would there be a way for you to spread this out a bit, maybe within water, some sort of drink? Do you think you could make a bigger quantity?
From the sample, you think you could, Dante, cultivate and then have someone else possibly make a soup? You could make a soup, but you're not really proficient in cooking.
I mean, I could make the ingredients.
You know how to make vinegar, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
so you kind of know how to make wine a little bit.
I mean, if I cobbled together my own cooking tools, I could probably do it.
All right,
but
I'm gonna leave this with you.
I would need to scrounge within my own materials.
I give him 10 gold and the mushroom, and I'm like, put it on your back burner. Please make me a bottle of mushroom.
Feel free to add that to your inventory, Dante.
So you want a bottle of mushroom wine?
Yes, I want someone to embed this, drink it, and have an experience.
I will do what I can.
I think it's well within your wheelhouse. I think you are capable of this without a doubt.
Fair. I'm going to need my lab, most likely, to actually do this.
Like I said, put it on your back burner. Let me know when it's ready.
Can the three of you make me a perception check?
I'm great at those.
Including me, yeah?
Including you, yes. The Ocus is on his way back, trekking through the woods.
Oh, wow.
So the
Really?
devil is present. Okay.
We are really into this conversation.
Take your screenshots now, folks, if you want. God damn, that really threw me. None of you notice a thing as you go on in your conversation. Kopi, you might not be involved, or you might be thinking elsewise, but you're all pretty well.
Apparently Kopi's just distracted.
Yep. Eventually, Okus does come back. Eokus, can you give me a perception check?
Eokus can. Does his familiar get one?
I'll give you one with advantage.
Oh.
Wow.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, both you and your familiar clock, too ruck stunned, sitting by these trees, just watching the carriage. I love that Eokus saw them.
Eokus immediately turns and walks over. What are you doing?
You all hear Eokus's voice. Ask someone what they're
We're
doing.
just waiting in the carriage.
Then the three of you also hear.
Stay where you are, you little things.
You can see these two are not dressed in the regular burlap. Like the others, they have people clothes on. They have weird disproportionate faces, uneven limbs, and a weird janky posture. They are small, if not almost tiny. They're very small for small. You guys can tell Eokus is out there talking to some ruckstunt.
Oh no, what's he doing now?
I will.
Come
Step
here before me.
They look at each other, and then one steps forward.
It sounds like he's commanding people to do something.
Are we allowed to get out?
Yeah. You all pop out of the carriage and stick your head out the window after you open the shutters, and you can see Eokus yelling at a ruckstun to come forth.
I have my arms out like oh, hello there, friends.
The one in the back looks to Almer and waves.
I just bow to him deeply.
They are dressing like they are people now.
They are people. They're just different.
They are things, my friend.
And Patrick, world lore stuff. Ruckstund are these weird little olive skin people, normally just wearing like a burlap sack, that are just little helper creatures.
Or like Dobby.
Yeah, they're like Dobby or the things from Mass Effect at the Citadel.
Which makes me feel like a great dick, but
this is my favorite area in the Citadel.
God damn it.
Eokus looks at him. Take it off!
I am got to
Stop it.
He takes a step back.
What are you doing?
You humor these things too much.
They don't.
They are too far spread to gain independence.
Why would it matter if they gain independence or not?
Would it matter if the ants and birds around us came against us? Of course, they are many.
Okay.
And they are tools. Look at them. They don't even know what they are doing.
They know everything you're saying, right? I look at them.
And they both nod.
They have no way of communicating us in a way we understand. But they understand what you're saying. They've taken no aggressive action against us. And if anything, we've only found these things to be helpful.
Monkey see... what was the monkey race here? Sorry, Al.
Goes and see.
Goes and see, goes and do.
So think of them as children. Just because children might rebel against their parents at one point doesn't mean that it's not a worthwhile investment. Maybe they just need to be shown the correct path. Maybe no one's ever had a chance. Maybe no one's ever tried.
I see.
It's easy to take advantage of things you don't understand.
Then tell me, understanding beings, did someone give you those clothing?
It's getting to be about lunch. The sun's just starting to set, and they look at you. light casting on them in the nice orangey colors. And they both nod.
And did that person tell you to come here?
And they both nod again.
And he looks at Almer. Just,
Okay.
I wonder why that is.
Can you take us to who sent you here?
They get a little excited and they both nod again.
I think they want us to go with them.
One of them will at least start kneeling on the ground, clear out some roughly scorched grass, and then in the dirt draw a little path, and then a little like house with a box around it.
Look at this advanced cartography. They're advancing at a phenomenal rate compared to when we last saw them.
Yes, they are,
draws
aren't they?
Draws a little sun above it and then puts a face on the sun.
I smile. Is it like a smiley face on the sun?
Yeah, it is. It is a like child's like I made a sun.
Iokas' face is pure just concern, just a concern.
I go up to one of them and I just pat it on the back, like, good job. It sounds like a cat.
Yeah, they make fucking weird noises.
Iokas is just shaking his head, and he looks like to Kobe and Dante. And what of you? Do you trust these things?
Kobe, Dante, what are the opinions?
I mean, the worst case that happens is we listen to a trap and we kill them.
I've never seen a ruck stunt harm somebody.
Nope. You've seen them occasionally harm each other or animals if dickheads get drunk and make them fight, but they are by nature and mostly non-aggressive unless commanded. Or forced to, like literally forced to.
I think we should follow them.
Open scowl. Fine. Let us trust these things. But I warn you, my friends. I will tell you so in due time.
Can
Listen.
you all make me a perception check quickly?
And I just basically end it with
Perception?
like, just try to keep an open mind, you know? Maybe you'll learn something you never thought possible.
Almer and Iokas, you both noticed because you were the closest as you were communicating that, and you've never really like clocked it before, but Ruckstund seemed to have no tongue.
Same.
I look at it, I'm like, hey, quick question. I stick my tongue out, I'm like, were you born with one of these?
As you guys are kind of walking down the road, your carriage will fit if one of you wants to man it. It's just a very narrow path.
Yeah, we'll just take it really slow.
And then they'll shake their head.
Do not ask if they was born. He doesn't even look back as he's walking. Ask if they were created without it.
Look at you seething that you're just like being like I'm just like
Look, they aren't owlbears. They weren't created by a mad wizard.
Do you see children of their kind?
You don't, as a thing.
do you know how to write a letter?
And they shake their head.
Do you think you could learn?
And they do a shrug motion.
Are you willing to try?
And then they both nod.
If I teach one of you how to read and write, you could teach your friends, correct?
Another shrug.
Ioka stops. You wouldn't dare.
I look at him. I'm just like, I certainly would, because knowledge is what fights the evil in this world.
He just kind of scoffs. They are the cogs which keep this society running, and you would throw that asunder.
I wouldn't
And-
throw it asunder, but maybe the system's flawed to begin with, and maybe think about how much they can achieve if they're
Also-
able to collaborate.
I mean, also, don't you think them being able to read would be more helpful than simply having to speak at them? You could simply write things down on a list, and they could look at the list and get things.
And not only
It
that,
is-
they can inform you of what they've seen. I thought you, of all people, with your connections, would see how valuable that would be.
Gus smiles. It is valuable to have assets that you can use, but once they know more that you can control, they are not your assets anymore, are they?
Perhaps.
What if you teach these things to read, and they decide that the call of your goddess is not to their calling armor? What if they embrace chaos and death to those who have oppressed them?
As your conversation is reaching its apex, you guys emerge from the woods and can see a broken down rock wall, very old, and a large one-story house. Or looks like a small vacation home, but it was very nice at one point. Now it's been overgrown, and some work has been done to it, but it's in pretty rough shape.
I mean, because you are literally describing every humanoid race in existence.
And
Who are we to enslave people?
we are the ones that are walking now free. These creatures are proliferant across this nation. They could destroy it given the power and knowledge. I am simply saying we should not grant them that.
Maybe if there's no place for them to have a certain amount of freedom, maybe this kingdom deserves to fall. Maybe it's not worth saving.
This kind of gives a sidelong glance. Let me ask you, Almer, if that is true and war comes, will all the orphans say that is justified for their dead parents to see that through?
I think that regardless of what happens in life, life deserves a chance to do good. The moment you take choice away from someone to do good, the easier and easier it becomes to just accept tyranny. And then all the light in the world goes extinguished.
Not to mention, they're already non-violent beings.
Because they have had to be. Do you believe this system would have allowed them to exist with any threat of violence?
How do we know? Maybe they had it at one point.
And if you think they find it again, they will be allowed to exist?
As you guys are conversing and starting to get out of the carriage, the two Ruxtun get out, one stays with you, and one goes scampering off. And then you hear a knock and a pattern.
It amazes me that one who devotes himself to so much study of knowledge can be so close-minded.
Close-minded, my friend, no. I accept their great potential. I simply wonder if it is controllable.
Maybe you need to study and find out.
A study that will either result in us benefiting or all of us in suffrage.
As with all things that is dangerous, staying ignorant of it doesn't remove the danger. We need to understand it better, and the only way to do that is by changing what we already have and actually paying attention. For too long, these things have been walking underfoot in dark corners, in spaces nobody looks at. Nobody's given them any attention or any thought whatsoever.
He looks at the Ruxtun and looks back at the party. I will keep an open mind, but I ask you to do the same. I will
Gods.
accept that they could perhaps be good, but you must accept that they could also just be tools.
Like you always keep
You
an
mean
open
like
mind.
every other person in this freaking country?
As something created by magic.
I guess only time will tell.
Nods and accepts that as it is.
You
Actually-
hear some locks unclanking and then wood starting to creak. And a woman opens the door to all of you standing out front. Almer, can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
Yep. DC 17.
Definitely
What?
not.
You see this woman. You get flashes in your mind of walking to the wall of Isdell. You were here to meet somebody. You swear you were here to meet somebody. You remember being captured and dragged away and strapped into something, and then everything goes fuzzy, and then you remember Otto and Hilga, and then you drop to the ground.
Oh
You
yeah,
pass out.
I just grab my head and just fucking like ah.
You will be up in 4 hours. You all see Almer drop to the ground. This woman who comes out looks at you all, sees him fall, shouts, "Almer!" and runs over to him.
I would like to. Does
Rage.
this seem to be a genuine reaction of excitement to seeing him, or is this false?
Yeah, whoever'd like to can roll
Inside.
insight. Yeah. Yeah, you both can tell, all three of you can tell, that this was genuine shock, then joy, and then utter fear as he dropped to the ground. And now she's like over him, casting a cure wounds, and he's not going to wake up from that. She looks up at like, what happened? Is he all right? Was he poisoned?
He just
Starts checking his vitals.
collapsed.
Eokus is just looking at the rock stand.
Eokus, you don't even have to make me a perception check. You can look through the doorway, and you see a whole hall of people and Ruckstund just crowded together in there. You should be able to see it if you look around. Or zoom out.
He frowns. That he just frowns.
Same for Almer and Dante. If you zoom out, you should see into the house, and you see a crowd of people, mostly huddled together, some creeping closer to the doorway to look at all the commotion.
Is this a floating sword in the hallway?
No, on that you can see a black carpet with a visage of a moon in the center with a sword on it.
Okay.
I am going to
that
ask her
match-
who she is.
Question, does that match Almer's holy symbol?
It does. It's a small variation, but it's close enough.
Oh, nice.
I'm Nia. I knew Almer. I met him twice. I heard him forever ago, and I saw his face, and then I finally met him, and we were set upon at the walls. There's a crack. I was going to get him in, and he was taken by corpse, and I had not seen him. I thought he was gone.
Well, we probably should have this conversation inside.
Yes.
Yes, she looks around for signs of any people. You all, from those insights, assume she's looking in case there's any mercenaries nearby. And then she and the Ruckstund will start bringing Almer in.
I'm going to ask her if she knows who the mercenaries were who attacked them, and if it was an act of opportunity or whether they are likely to chase them here.
As she walks in here, she shuts the shutters of the window, locks the doors behind her, and begins to tell you, not here. Follow me. As she sits in, she's like, everyone, you can calm down. These are friends, and one very good friend. I'm going to help him get back on his feet. Until then, just stay calm, and stay together, and keep vigilant. And she begins to have you all follow her through this crowd. I'll just copy paste you all together. That one Ruxton is still staying with her as a helper to carry Almer. And she'll shut the main doors and lock those behind her as people begin to shutter the windows that are in here. She leads you through the crowd, opens a door to what looks mostly like a storage room. It's a little cramped for a moment as she steps over into the barrels. If you don't have dark vision, it is pitch black in here. If you do, it's just shades of gray. She slides out a barrel, moves a thing, and pushes in the wall, and it opens up to a small hallway and will lead you all down some stairs. And you follow her, turn the bend. She opens a not nicer door, but a sturdier, like wood reinforced steel door, and it opens up into a small, nicely lit room, uh, mostly peppered with like a long tables and parchment everywhere. And on one wall is a full-on crazy person conspiracy board of different people and names and looping threads and tacks and maps and people. And on one desk in the far corner in the dead center is a small, odd metal looking safe. And as she rushes over, it's like, so here's a better place to talk about it. What were you asking? Sorry, I'm a bit. I guess I'm excited. I'm also very
I
worried.
think in general, I'd love an explanation of what's going on and whether we are expecting to be set upon here and whether defenses are necessary, what defenses you already have in place.
I have very little in the way of defenses. We've been plagued by these scions of Baco for a bit. If you've encountered them, you'll know they're not a challenge, but enough of them will be a problem. I'm the only one here of any fighting capability.
Right.
Almer, I guess I don't. I'm surprised he's here. Normally, I've learned so much since I saw him before. She looks like she's on the verge of tears, and she's like, "Well, I guess this," and she'll go over to the small safe, block you all, and do the turn dial combination and open it, and take out a small, like, looks just like a glass vial, like angular diamond shaped, with a white misty substance in it. Like it is definitely an aerosol thing. It's not a liquid or anything. And she goes, "I guess this is the only way I can really let you know. Brace yourselves if you want to try." And she'll place it on a table after picking up by the chain.
May I look at that?
Be careful. Don't touch the crystal, just the chain that holds it.
Would it be possible to examine it using alchemy?
To determine what exactly?
Just what it is, what it does.
I will let you make me a. Do you have Arcana proficiency?
Yes, I do.
I will let you make me an Arcana check. You're not entirely sure. It definitely seems. It as you look at it, it appears to be an aerosol, but as you look closer, it is something else. It is almost like not a plasma, but just a congealance of energy that is light and almost ethereal in nature. You've seen
Like a vapor of magic, not a
Yes,
magical vapor.
exactly, and you've
Like
seen
pure magical essence and
Yeah.
energy.
and you've seen similar things like this in enchantments on different levels, but this is some sort of infusion or extraction of magic or essence.
Kopi will. So
I mean,
Do we what? Drink this? Inhale this? What is the
I mean,
deal?
if you
Touch the crystal and embrace it.
if you think we have the time, I could examine it more closely, so we know what we're getting into.
If you touch it at all,
I touch the crystal.
Actually saying it to Dante, if you touch it at all, it will trigger. Identifying it requires you handling the object. And Kopi grabs it at that moment. Kopi, you find yourself in the body of an Ozaru, some kind of gorilla person, strapped down to a metal chair-like thing. Across from you is the scarred face of some pointy-eared, dark-haired man. On his other side is a large Goliath-like figure, and on a fourth chair apparatus to your right is some riffling, looks like a human, and
Mm-hmm.
a person in the back in a core ops looking uniform, operating some kind of machinery, and then pulls a switch and flips a few levers, and you can see this pain start to radiate from the person to your right to Almer to the Goliath, and then to whoever you're inhabiting, whoever's point of view this is. The person to your right goes through the process first. You can see, imagine one balloon deflating and another balloon inflating. So on the side of the chair apparatus, a thing kind of spawns and forms. And you can see it's an exact copy of that person. And as that person on the main chair apparatus, the original, is sitting there and being drained, or like it looks like they're being dehydrated, they begin to shrink and become deformed and darken. And you can definitely see they're becoming a clear form of a Ruckstund. Over to the Goliath, the process is just beginning on him. You can see the balloon starts to swell up as he swells down. They're at about an even point when some toad-in figure in armor jumps out and attacks the person operating the machinery. No one here would recognize them as Keen's mentor. Keen's mentor. Toad-in figure. He leaps out. The battle ensues. The machine is damaged. There's a brief moment where nothing happens as the process continues on the Goliath. They start to come to, both of them, and they struggle against their bonds. The process slightly just starts to begin on Almer, as he is not deflating, but as the figure on the right is starting to grow bigger. It gets to about the size of a Ruckstund before it stops altogether. And the main central machine explodes. The point of view you're in fades completely, and you find yourself back among your friends after feeling of like you felt the panic and the adrenaline and the confusion and the fear of this individual. You felt.
Can I clarify a couple of things?
Yes.
So it drained a person.
Yes. Well, it looked like like a grape, like somewhere between a soul suck and a literal dehydration of a person.
Yeah. Was it done entirely via magic, or was there a physical apparatus attached to the person?
Everyone is strapped into a large chair-like apparatus.
Cool. Was the body of the person pierced visibly in any way? Like,
not from what you could
not syringe vibes.
Or at least from what you can tell, nothing on the front of the body hooked them in. They were clamped into a chair.
Cool.
There might have been something in the back hooked up to them, but nothing that was visible from their perspective.
Nothing visible.
Yep.
Next question. Was it as they deflated, as it were, they became a Ruckstund, or as they deflated elsewhere, a Ruckstund was created?
No, so imagine one's in the front of the chair-like apparatus and one is on the side. And yes, as the person deflates, they become a Ruckstund. And as the other one inflates, they become that person.
Right. And what is the thing or whatever that is inflating to become a copy of the person?
It is a pile of, looks like, fleshy goo. It looks cold because it has bits of frost on it. like a
Cool,
ice
cool, cool,
covered
cool, cool,
clay.
cool.
And Kopi finds himself among everyone again as Nia looks over
Yep.
to you very sympathetically and says, "I think you understand now." Does Kopi pass out?
Kopi is no, doesn't pass out, just slightly losing his shit, and is just speechless and vaguely stammering and pointing at Iokas and Dante, and then at the crystal, and then at Iokas, and then at Dante, and then at the crystal, etc.
Almer, you come to in a chair in the corner of the room at this Mexican standoff without a gun.
Sounds like a really good band name. Mexican
Oh,
standoff
yeah.
without a gun.
Yeah, this is.
I'm just like, I'm fucked up. My head fucking hurts. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on.
I would like to, at this point, go over and inspect Almer, and I would like to try and determine whether Almer is a real creature or whether Almer has inflated from a pile of goo.
From your vision, I will say it looks like the pile of goo got to a weird state, but Almer remained himself. So he would have been slightly.
Right, the process
slightly
didn't
dehydrated.
finish.
Yeah, it began.
I'm still gonna check.
Early, yes. You can give me a investigation or Arcana check on Almer as you begin to inspect him as he
You
just
grab me by
comes
the
to.
chin. I'm just like groaning. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, I'm like full on trying to tear at some of your skin to see what's underneath it.
There's something hanging off somewhere, probably.
Oh, could Iokas put his hand on the woman's shoulder?
Give me just a general charisma check.
What hand?
Yeah, fuck. You can put
Alright,
it up on the
guys,
Puts his disgusting nub on her shoulder.
I'm logging off for the night. Good night. What would you like, Al?
At all. I was waiting. I'm like, no one's commented. He's like, can I put my hand on her
What
shoulder?
would you like? What would you like?
Just general charisma check. Just how are you as a person? Yeah, you don't seem immediately disgusting or repulsive or weird, so she allows you to put your nub on her, either her shoulder or her back, like a pat on the back.
Oh, he just says very calmly, if you do not explain what is going on, you will not live for another 6 seconds. And he will have the Ruckstead the Ruckstead, his familiar land on the Ruckstead's head.
All right. Kopi, from your check, you can tell he seems as real as anyone you've ever seen. You stabbed a lot of people. It all kind of seems like this.
I'm still low-key freaking out.
She will turn to Almer and take one step back in the small room before saying, "You're a rash fool. Look around." And she gestures to the room. "This is what's happening." And she'll point to ties between Bernal Norvac, Rita Braun, and someone called Lavar, and to a bunch of different politicians and figures. Another string going off of, oddly enough, is a blue string going off Lavar straight to Krull, ? And then another blue string going off Krull way off the map to a side with 3 more question marks as an unknown being. And then another web of people that ties off of a red pin with the word incident tied around it at near like one of the upper precincts of the Northwest, where you assume, judging from what she mentioned slightly before, there might be a hole in the wall somewhere around there that you can sneak in and out of Isdell from. And that leads back to where she is now.
Do I?
She goes, this
Can I
is what
see her?
happened.
First, Kopi, what did you see?
Hmm, let's see whether I am able to. Yeah, okay.
Well, actually, just to be safe, I'm going to use my reaction and add a +4 to your Wisdom saving throw. So you'd
There
have
you
a
go.
16.
Yeah, so you are
Cool.
well handled and can remember most of it without that same emotion coming back to you. You feel like that. You feel like
I
you experienced
describe
that
the
moment.
broad strokes. Um, uh, people being drained, shriveled down into Ruxton. They were people. They were people that, and making copies of the person that was destroyed or changed. How do we know that many of the people we know aren't copies?
Is anything that they're saying actually in my memory right now, or do I
Now
still?
it's all coming back to you. You remember that incident from your point of view. You remember being captured at the wall, dragged in by these people, interrogated brutally, strapped into this machine. You felt your being like taken away from you, your mind going. Something happened. Then you really do lose your memory. Either you passed out or you're just in too bad of a shape as some totem figure comes in and starts fighting. The two large Goliaths break free. You can recognize from your point of view and your past knowledge that these guys look like Stone Skin. This is probably his brother. They break free and they start helping the Totem before the two of them go around freeing who and what they can from the apparatus, including you, and then flee out. You stumble behind them. One sort of helps you before they get too far. Your paths diverge and you find your own way out. You lose consciousness at one point and then you pick up from where you remember. Hilga and Otto at a house, a nice couple helping you recover.
Just look
But
up.
the trip and the drowning that fades.
And I feel it was false.
Yes, you feel it was implanted or part of you. Like whatever they were doing to you was going to turn you into an altered version of yourself. Like something fundamentally different about you.
I just say, like, I'm still pretty like groggy and like wincing. I'm like, I always knew there was something rotten with this place, but it's coming back. My head, why can't I sort out these thoughts? It's like I was in two places at once, but one seemed more real, but now I'm not sure. And
I mean, I can't help you remember anything, at least not today. I would need to rest and recollect lies. The fight we had here drained me of any that circle of magic.
it feels like I'm barely being held together at the seams, and I think it's her, and there's nothing I can do to help.
Nia looks very worried over to Almer. And Almer, you remember now receiving a letter from someone beseeching you to help, that something was wrong here, that there was an affront to life and death, and that your goddess needed your help. And you, when you finally met her at the wall, you only saw her like each other for a brief second, and then you were set upon by the chaos.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. I've
Yes.
learned much, and we've been reunited. Her will is strong.
I should have been more careful. I should have been better, faster.
Same can be said of me. And as that kind of looms in the air, you hear dun 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 as a bell starts going off upstairs. She looks panicked and runs up the stairs and says, "Something's here. It's probably the mercenaries or another one of their distractions."
I will run up the stairs as well, immediately with her.
Al, could
Yes.
I do a quick bit of Eocus math?
I mean, what is the math here?
Silver 19, man. Too.
How many Ruckstead are there per capita compared to regular citizens?
There's definitely not more Ruckstund than people, but you've seen enough Ruckstund that with this information, like from the room you pass alone, going from the entrance to the uh, little conspiracy room, you see 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22 Ruckstund, which now, according to this new revelation, is 22 humans, 22 copies, 22 altered people out there in the world.
But I guess what he's trying to think is Ruckstun are proliferant in society. So if there's one Ruckstun to every 5 people, that means one of those 5 people is actually an imposter that the Ruckstun has now taken. So really is double the number of Ruckstun, which is the number we have to be concerned about, right? Does that math add up?
Yeah, if you are considering the copies more along the lines of Ruckstund, then yes, there's many, many of them, and they might equal out regular people half and half or a little less than.
Okay. So we are now considering that half of the population is against us.
If you lump the Ruckstund in with the clone people, yes.
Okay. Just
Yep, your greatest fears are all coming true, Brad.
okay. Yeah, I just want to clarify.
I guess you have your answer. We didn't have to wait long.
And as you guys run through the crowd, the doors are opened for you and then shut behind you at Nia's command. And you can hear the scraping of stone, like the shattering of a wall, as she opens one shutter and then the door. You can see there is a large creature rampaging towards the building right now, smashing through a portion of the already broken down wall. At this point, if you guys are going to interact with it, we can all roll initiative.
Yep.
Can we see it?
I just dropped it, and we'll find out.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's one of those things. So what are they called?
Oh, like the fucking badger
The
giant bear thing.
Pinaglins or
Yeah, exactly. The pangolin sloth badger things, the Tuskars. They are on the enemies and allies page. Almer, you're up first. You can all see, because this thing is huge and its eyes are, probably the size of a, small dinner plate. They are bloodshot red. And this thing is making all kinds of weird motions as it's breaking through the stone, like it's really enjoying all the movements. Dante, you can tell this thing is high as fuck. He has drugged this creature and sent it rampaging in this direction.
Do I know what drug is being used?
Rush, the same one you used. The red drug that gives you euphoric feelings.
I run out. I'm very fearful for our beast of burden.
I will let you issue a verbal command if you want to send it running.
So, come here, go this way, over here, and I'll just take. Well, there's a bunch of fucking hay, right? I'm gonna throw it. I know it's pretty poor, but I'm just gonna throw some hay.
Okay.
That way. Go over there.
It will take its. Yeah, it has a decent amount of movement, although it's a bit slow and bulky with the carriage. It'll turn around and then dash away, getting near the entrance. Carriage whips around, teeters for a second, and then snaps back into place behind it.
Okay. This might not work, but I'm gonna try it. Wait, Great water doesn't tell me, like, does it create it? Is it touch? I don't understand. I'm gonna hit this just for info.
No problem.
One action, 30 feet away. Okay. Why am I drawing a box?
Oh,
Well, it also needs to be within a container.
Or I can make it fall as rain. It's not
Okay.
quite there.
you can
I'm
hold
going
your action until it is.
Hold an action to give it like a torrential downpour, hoping that it might wash this out of its eyes, out of its system, maybe.
Oh, fair.
That's
I don't fucking know alchemy.
that's not how it works.
I'm already
Hey,
like,
you can sober people up by spraying them with a hose.
yeah, like I'm gonna fucking like torrential downpour this for at least 6 seconds. So you
I
hear
will.
chanting.
If it tries to use the effect of the drug, I will make it make a check for it to
Yeah.
succeed.
It's if it gets within 30 feet of me, I'm gonna hit it with a torrential downpour.
On its turn, it is going to barrel towards you. It gets within 30 feet. The rain hits it. You can see the bloodshot eyes kind of, not clear up, but they begin to lose the intensity as it barrels towards you on, strangely enough, it's on its hind legs, arms out, using its big tail to kind of balance itself.
Mhm.
And it runs towards you. Let me see. Yeah, and will attempt to hit you with a slam attack as it charges its whole 50 feet of movement at you.
I'm going to cutting towards the damage.
Okay, first I need to make me a DC 14 strength save.
Oh no. Oh,
Okay, you're not knocked prone.
just hits the shield.
Yeah, and then you hit the wall and fall down, and the weight of it comes down on you for a second. You scramble back up, and you take 20 bludgeoning damage from being battered
Minus-
around. Cutting words.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what the...
Yep.
At 10th
Actually
level,
is.
which we're not, so it's 1d8. Okay.
For 2, down to 18. Let's see. It can make either... Okay, and then that's the only thing it does.
That really fucking hurt.
It stands above you and makes a loud hissing sound, bearing its weird tusk fang teeth things. That's its turn, and your turn, Eocus. You're up.
Eocus will move 10 feet, 15 feet to see what is happening. He is going to try to cast his Misty Visions. Does he?
Yes, indeed.
He does. Let's see. Spell. Misty Visions, where's it at? Ooh. Right here it is. Yep. And he is going to cast it a bit back here, and it is just another Palgar. Just kind of waving, looking in the opposite direction. Does he know if these things are asexual or?
No, you know there'll be male and females of these. These are actual creatures. They're not monstrosities or anything.
Yeah, he puts a female creature behind it in that direction.
Okay. Full on
That-
Bugs Bunny.
That is turn. That's all he's got.
Right. Nia will take a few steps closer to the window, and then as a bonus action, will summon an illusory, kind of ethereal greatsword at the creature. Where the hell is it? There we go. Don't need a measure.
Spiritual weapon!
Spiritual weapon indeed. Unfortunately, the weapon swing goes awry. She'll then action to Sacred Flame. And it avoids it. She sticks to the corner and gets some cover.
My arms are like fucking numb after this thing hit my shield.
It was like hitting a post with a metal bat.
Yeah. Oh.
You have a decent enough vision on it from the window. You could step forward for a clear shot if you want it.
I was gonna say, the water isn't going to work. It's a magical drug. You
Well,
might be able
that's...
to dispel the effects. It's created with magic.
Why are you yelling at me? I'm trying my best. I'm having a really bad day.
He
Yeah.
said, "Are you in your own rain, or is it right in front of you?"
It's like right in front of me.
So
Yeah,
it looks-
I'll say a little bit's getting like all over my face.
Yeah, from the wind splashed some of it onto you.
Yeah, I got like the wet mascara look, except it's white.
Yeah, I'm gonna step 5 feet. Use a firebolt.
All right. A 26 will hit.
So that is 11 fire,
Nice. 11 fire damage.
and then back.
All right. Kobe.
That'll be my turn.
Okay, I'm gonna open this door.
No problem. You can unlock it from the inside quickly and swing it open with an object interaction.
And this is the beastie boy.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna step out. I'm going to yeah, okay. I'm gonna run towards it. As an action, I'm gonna make myself heavier.
All right. You get super dense as you run in.
Yep. I make myself real dense.
More dense than me.
And I'm gonna get up in its face and try and be a little bit intimidating, swing a weapon in its face, and generally try and distract it from Almer.
Okay. As not an action, as what, like a bonus action or just a general thing. That's how you're moving and presenting yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Presenting an alternative target.
Yep. Actively being a threat, getting in its way, lots of rapid movement. Almer, this thing's in front of you. Now kind of looking at Kobe.
Don't like that. But it's looking at Kobe.
Yeah, it's looking at you're in its like peripheral vision, but it's focusing on Kobe right now.
I wonder
After that movement and like weird semi-attack.
I wonder was it high on drugs if it would even bother to take the attack of opportunity. Fuck it. We're booking it.
You start moving away, and for a second, nothing happens, and you're like, yes, it did not notice me. And then as you get to here, the tail swings out at you.
Attempt to interpose myself
15 doesn't
and
hit.
take the hit instead.
15 doesn't hit me, though.
15 doesn't hit him. Nice.
Cool.
You leap out as Almer deflects the blow with the shield, and you don't even have any impact. It hits the wall a little bit, leaving a small crack. Here's the damage that you can interpret from that hit. And then, what are you doing, Almer?
I am going to cast a 3rd level Ray of Sickness.
Okay. Straight over Kopi's head?
Yeah.
Because this thing is huge. It towers above you. It is maybe 13 feet tall and 10 feet wide from like shoulder to shoulder.
26 to hit.
100% hits.
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw.
It's poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Sweet.
And it takes 6... Oh, wait, that's not right. Where's the damage? What? I guess I have to roll. So it should be 48?
Yeah, because you did at higher level?
Yeah.
2d, so if you wait, so that was a...
That's a d8 per level, right? It's a first level up to 3, so...
There we go, yeah.
Wait, is that right? 1, 2... Yeah.
Nope,
23 poison damage.
Oof. Nice. It does not look well for a second. It's having a bad trip.
It's already got a lot of toxins in its system. I figured it would help. And okay, so I ran away. I did that. I have a bonus action. I'm going to give a bardic to Dante and just tell him to light it up.
All right, Dante feels inspired. But see, that's it for you, Almer.
Mhm.
The Tusk Gods' turn. It will focus in on Kopi.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Yeah, it's all kinds of fucked up
Poisoned.
and poisoned. It will move back, Kopi, giving you a free attack.
I will take it. Sorry.
It's all right. It moves back and then goes making weird sounds like it's about to sputter and vomit, and then makes a weird hacking noise. You just barely connect with your attack. For
For 8
piercing.
piercing damage.
As it kind of shakes it off, goes back on its hind legs, regains balance, and then runs back into you for a slam attack. 12
Which
will.
misses.
Yep, and you don't have to make a save off that. It'll while out and freak out for a second before using a feature of the drug, or at least attempting to, by getting a 10 or higher on this d20 roll, and will make a second attack, this time with its tail action, which will also miss.
I think the poison's in its eyes. Get it.
This one is also disadvantage, but that didn't even come into play. Shit rolls all around. That's it for the creature. Eokus, you're up. You see this huge creature flailing around, high on drugs and poisoned.
He just looks at it and he attempts to cast a spell because
Yep, DC is now 14 whenever you attempt to cast a spell. You've gotten slightly better at it. Your spell begins to apparate and take effect and fizzles.
I won't even say the cool thing I was gonna do. That is done.
Fair.
And you're one off from me being able to actually help. If it had been a 10, I could have had you make it.
that is done. That is done. That's done.
Nia's turn. She'll take a few steps back to the doorway. Look out at all of you. Mutter to herself, "I'm never good enough. I need
Trust in her."
And she will cast a second level bless. So everyone is blessed except for her.
Fuck yes.
Not at her.
And then bonus action to take a spiritual weapon attack. Let me scroll up to find her real quick. There we go. 12 will just hit. And that'll be for a D8 plus modifier. Which in her case is nice. There we go. It's for 12 radiant damage. Or force damage. As it bashes in, cuts through it with this ethereal sword.
Is it like a rapier?
No, it's like a great sword. In the vein of your goddess.
The goddesses was a rapier. That's fine.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a great sword. Different sects have different, beliefs and teachings. Dante. You're blessed and you're up. You're also inspired.
So the poison effect would end.
It's still
Almer's
poisoned
turn.
right now. It's still poisoned.
Oh yeah, but it would end on your turn, correct, Almer?
What's it say? Is it the beginning or end of my turn? It is poisoned until the end of my next turn.
There we go.
Okay, then I'm going to step up and cast my own Ray of Sickness.
You guys are amazing. 20 will hit for 9 poison.
That is 13 poison damage.
Oh, yep. Always better than I think. So it is not poison, but it does take 13 poison damage. But it is poison from the previous poison effect. I heard you like poison.
Trying to overdose this thing.
Is that it for you, Dante?
Yeah. You.
Okay. Kopi, you are blessed. You are up.
Yeah. I'm gonna stab this fucker.
25 will hit.
Yep.
8 piercing.
8 piercing.
Nice.
And that's my turn.
That's it for Kopi. You don't want to disengage and move. You're a valiant hero.
Nope. I'm gonna just stay in the way and take the hits for people.
Okay. Almer, you're up again.
Yeah, sorry, I was just adding the D4. Where does that actually go? Do I have to actually put it in the situational bonus?
I believe you can do that, or you can add it some other way. I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I'll just do it. I'll just roll common.
Or just roll the D4 off the side on the panel.
Okay. Feel the blessing of Eilistraee in me.
For once, coming from a different kind of outward direction.
I'm going to cast a first, bardically inspire myself.
Of course.
Because I deserve it. I'm worth it. Then I'm going to cast a 4th level Ray of Sickness.
Yeah. That will hit, and time for a con save. It is poisoned. And it takes 21 poison damage. It rears up, going to strike Kopi. You aim and let go of this greenish, sickening ray. Hits it right in the open mouth in the head. As it begins to sputter and rear and hack, it just throws up and keeps throwing up till hunks of meat that looks like have to be internal organs come out. And it keels over dead.
Don't do drugs, kids.
I mean, I guess that's what you could call a bad trip.
I don't want the wine doing that, okay?
I mean, are you worried I'm going to mix Rush in with your mushroom wine?
Should I be? I mean, I just found out today I was part of a government experiment that turned me into goo.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a Rush. I hear Spark can be useful.
I just look at her and like, good job.
Same. All of you are very impressive.
Wish I could have brought the talent earlier.
Yep, she goes over to the creature with a sympathetic look. How long does the rain last from create water?
Oh, it's like instant. It's like 6 seconds of
Okay.
downpour.
Okay, I just was
I
curious.
think. Let me look.
And she'll look sympathetically at it before turning to all of you. The Scions, they've been sending things like this our way when their men are too busy.
Oh, we need to stop the Scions.
Well, they'll be here eventually. A few days ago, they sent a last warning.
Oh, yeah, we ran into some of
What
them.
do they want?
They want the crystal. They want the... And she looks a little bit panicked that the door's open, but she realizes no one in there would take it.
What crystal?
They want the vial, the memories.
Why?
Because it's proof. It shows...
Vial?
It's the truth.
When you feel it, you know it. And she looks at you, Kopi. It's part of you now. If anyone felt that, they would surely be disgusted.
Yes. But why do they want to take it?
Don't know.
What are their intentions with
To hide
it?
the truths, to keep the status quo.
I mean, think about it. If they destroy it, then those memories go away, effectively.
No one will ever believe
Where did
that
you
something...
come upon this?
I had to go through quite an ordeal, but...
And whose memory is this?
I don't know that part, actually. I procured this via word of rumor led me to its location, which was in the office of one Rita Braun, the Grockloin. And I hired a helpful man, a Toden, an older fellow. And he took the job on for free, actually. He gave me the vial and disappeared shortly after.
Toted man, we know a toted man. He's the same. He didn't happen to grab his name, or if I said it, would you remember it?
He didn't give one, unfortunately.
I'll start describing. I gotta look at that.
Reuben
I mean,
Lang.
you can experience the memory and see him.
Yeah, I start explaining what Reuben Lang looks like.
No, this fellow is a bit different.
Orange skin, perhaps.
No, definitely muter colors.
I mean, this all can be solved by, like what Kopi said, you touch the stone and relive the memory.
Do I just remember on my own?
Give me a history check with advantage. It's all like it's coming back to you, but like trying to remember a face in that moment. Yeah, vaguely.
I'll throw the bardic just to make it better.
Oh, nice. Let's see how that turns out.
Yeah.
No, it every little bit helps. It's a bit blurry at first, and it starts to come slightly more into focus. And you can tell it's definitely not Reuben Lang. You don't know who this is. They are wearing a cloak, though, of a bright color.
What color?
It's not the Unterherr Farron Goodman.
It is not. It is, I believe, purple. I will have to confirm that when I find my exact notes. Here we go.
I don't think we've ran into anyone like that yet.
Devon Trolk is Keen's master mentor person. He is the purple robe, Iokas.
Oh.
Yep, he was not at the meeting at the first, right?
Yes, he was not
Yep.
there because he had been killed.
Okay, yeah, I know that then.
And that is what comes back into your memory. And Almer, you now know for a fact yourself that this is not Reuben Lang.
Yeah. Did you say what you thought out loud, Iokas?
Yeah, he would have pondered on that.
Well,
He will look to her. If you need a place to secure this, I happen to be a specialist in securing things in places untouchable by most.
She looks to Almer first, and then back. I will consider it. First, we should. I'll calm the people. We'll lock the doors and shutters, and I'll meet you back downstairs. We'll drag that creature out of here later. It'll be far too much effort now.
of course.
I will
Yep.
make the
Creature light.
thingy off its
Yourself
mass,
heavy is no
and then just
problem.
roll it myself.
Yep.
Well, we have the beast of burden too. That can help be a dragon.
Actually,
Kopi's a buff frog.
I actually wonder. I wonder if there's enough drug left in his system to distill it from its
Don't
blood.
think about it. Don't let it be.
But
You can give me an alchemy.
Dante, you want a sample of its blood?
I mean, I've never actually been able to look at someone's blood under the effects of such drug.
I will fill a flask with this thing's blood. And for good measure, because its eyes look so interestingly bloody, I will pop out its eyes and take them along as well. So I will present Dante with a flask of blood and 2 eyes.
Just a stein. It's a stein. It's got the flippable lid.
Dante, can you give me an intelligence check very quickly?
Just intelligence?
Just a straight intelligence check, and you have a bardic.
Ah,
And just a
But I'm-
blast.
But I'm also exhausted, which means it's disadvantage.
Yes, everything has been disadvantaged, but that's fine.
But you have a
We'll-
D8 and a
we'll
D4,
cut it.
so kind of cancels out the disadvantage in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
disadvantage is a
so-
-5 generally, so that's possibly more.
Ability check. Disadvantage.
Never mind,
Yeah.
man. You good?
Well, hold on.
Yeah, looking at this, you're not quite sure I can use at the moment. You're so like just drained and reeling from these revelations, but it still dawns on you that it is fundamental to get a larger creature under the effects. You need a larger amount.
So
How-
someone else is creating these drugs.
And someone had a lot to spare if
Yeah.
they were able to make a huge creature this high, this out of control.
I mean, do I know what the normal cost of like a single dose of this drug is?
A pure vial is 150.
But you can theoretically you could cut it.
Yes, and when
It
you
would
cut
reduce
it, yeah, and it becomes all sorts of things. And normally, when cut, it becomes more deadly, and the exhaustion effect is more prominent and easier to get. That's why it's been running rampant. People are dropping and literally being unable to move to do anything for themselves.
I love
So
how Al's describing the fentanyl pandemic.
So either somebody spent a lot of money on that damn creature, or they sent it here expecting it to die and just cut what they had.
We're in complete darkness, right?
In this room, it'd be like dim light, which would look like bright light to you all.
I'll just
This
turn
is
on
a
my lantern.
representation room.
Just so you guys know, I put on the lantern.
Oh, but
Not with the hydrolith oil. That's how you make a Molotov cocktail.
I mean,
I would like to
Almost
go back
complete-
down to the room and spend some time inspecting the crystal and learn as much about how the crystal works as possible. And the main question I want to try and answer is it theoretically possible to copy this? Make a second copy of the memory.
Yep. She'll actually escort you all through there and through the hall again, past all the people and their ruck stunned, which everyone give me an insight check. All four of you.
Great at that.
Dante and Iokas, you're preoccupied, and as you are moving through, you're not quite paying attention. You're following the lead of Mia. Kopi, Almer, you look around at these people and the way some of these Ruxtund are dressed and the way some of them are interacting, and you think they might have been related, or they might be related, or part of them knows each other.
Mhm.
These are families, or what's left of them.
I'm just instantly sad.
by the way, Almer, if you can't see in the dark, just let me know in the morning. I can do you have a pair of glasses that?
Oh no, I can see fine. I'm just trying to make it more comfortable for you all.
He taps the lenses of his mask. As long as I'm wearing this, I see perfectly fine.
Whatever. I mean, just because we can see in the dark doesn't mean the light doesn't help. You get to see the colors of life
And you cut through the crowd back into
with our
what
swords.
looks like a storage room, and then through the false wall that's still open, down to the little conspiracy room. And there you have free reign to do what you like. There's only one seat, but there's some places you can half sit or lean. She picks the crystal vial up by the chain, and Kopi, you wanted to take another look at it, right?
Yeah, I will happily cast Identify, Detect Magic. I want to try and work out whether this is replicable.
I'll help you
Um,
out just so it's twice as fast. If you cast one, I'll cast the other.
Yeah, you can both do that, and
I know all three of us can.
Well, no. I was going to assist if any Arcana check needs to be made.
Okay.
Because I am trained in Arcana.
And
so
you have Bardic.
between the three of you and your expertise, you can make me 2 checks with advantage at a bardic and give me the highest total.
Kopi, you
Okay,
go
I've
ahead.
got 1.
Or let's see. So what are we rolling though? Are we rolling Arcana?
It would be 2 Arcana checks with
Okay.
advantage.
Mine's only a
Like,
plus
so-
1, so if you want to, yeah.
Either one. And then the second one, which would have advantage, so you can give me another roll off that.
Yeah.
And then, so 21 plus the bardic die, if you want to roll that.
I already did.
Oh, it's already in
So
there?
I think the 3 should have been
Okay.
on Dante's then, because Dante's the one who has the bardic. Unless it doesn't matter, I don't care.
And no, it's a pooled thing of all your
Okay.
knowledge and ability together.
Okay.
And let me look up some spells real quick.
Plus the effects of detect magic and identify.
Yeah, no, exactly. I am looking up some spells so I can give you proper schools of magic.
I'm guessing shot at the dark, because I've never used modified memory or something like that. It would be like transmutation. That's just a guess.
I think
It
that's
has
an enchantment.
Maybe.
hints of, and hang on one more. Hints of necromancy and enchantment in strong proportions. And something else quite unsettling.
Mm.
Essence of a soul. This is part of the soul. So it could be splittable, but the emotions from the experience would be dulled. Some of the fidelity of the memory would be lost. It might be possible under under the ideal conditions with an expert with the right tools that it could be possibly duplicated or mass produced. But right now, this is a very sensitive, very unique item.
Yeah.
I think if they're going to split it at all, it would need to be strengthened itself.
And with a 21 total between the three of you, you see and would assume that this whole process would do a clone-like effect, a modified memory-like effect, and a Geist-like effect. As well as some other
first one, sorry?
Clone. So a clone-like effect, modify memory-like effect, and Geist clone Geist-like effect.
Well, I guess this answers the question if the Ruxton are people or not.
Yeah. Just not exactly what I had thought it would be.
Also, to be fair, this feels way above whatever pay grade I may have running the shop that I run.
Well, I can guarantee you it was above my pay grade because I was almost one of them.
Iokas just looks totally despondent. Just his world is shattered.
This system is more corrupt to its core than I ever believed.
I'm going to go and try to talk to the Ruxtund and see if any of the Ruxtund, first of all, just establish that they can do yes or no answers, as they did earlier. And I'm going to try and find out if any of them have any memory from before they became what they are.
All right. Kopi goes upstairs to start that process. And Nia, when you're all done with the crystal vial, will take it from you and place it back into the safe safely, and we'll lock it.
Iokas asks, is there any known way we can tell who is trustable and who is one of these, shall we call them, replacements, or...
Well, she scrambles for a bit and grabs a journal. And opinions will vary, I'm sure, but it seems these new people are people. They just are slightly different. They're not quite themselves. They're tame. They're docile. She brings over a different thing. Goes Reformation. The 3 steps when you get in too much trouble, when you cause too much attention to yourself, when you go against the grain. The first 2 steps seem minor, but the 3rd step always succeeds. There's never a problem. And I believe this is why. They're no longer who they were.
There is no third. The third's replacing them.
Do we know if the Ruxton give off a magical aura?
Of
Mild.
undeath.
They are
Oh.
they're alive, and they are basically the alive version of what a zombie is to being undead. Like, they are just alive. They're just barely alive instead of just
I mean-
barely undead.
I would have to. I mean, this could be incredibly dangerous, and I would have to consult what I know of Arcana. But has anyone tried dispelling?
I think that whatever has happened to them and almost happened to me, something's been taken. There's been a theft. I don't think banishing an enchantment is going to enact much good. If anything, all it may do is
Wait.
there may
But,
be some enchantments on them that is keeping them sane. Because if they suddenly remember what they used to be and what they are now,
No, so that you mentioned that the clone spell was used, correct?
No one mentioned it so much as the three of you devised that those spell-like abilities had to have been utilized. These are the types of things and the sort of schools of magic that would be utilized to do this process.
Would I know how the clone spell works?
You would have an idea of how it normally works, which is why you think it can't possibly be the clone spell.
Okay.
Because the way the clone spell works, or even like simulacrum would work, would not be feasible for this type of alteration and mass scale. So it has to be something else, or be a variant, or an enchantment, or something like it.
Well, typically, from my understanding of the clone spell, it takes a while to even grow the new body. And then the body is linked. Could time magic be involved?
I think that what has happened is they are using some sort of mutable material, whether it be some sort of ooze that has mnemonic properties, or some sort of demon, lesser demon. And what is happening is they are taking out everything that makes a person unique. They are taking the soul, who you truly are, and they're dividing it. And they're giving the lowest version of a facsimility to this. I don't have another word for it. We'll call them a replicant for now. And leaving nothing but a ruined husk behind, which is the Ruxton.
Yes, it is very efficient, very clever.
And
you take out a dissident as well as gain a servant.
And at the speed that it was described, I mean...
The question, though, is why? What original pact would have brought this upon a society?
Al, and because we've had like a morbid curiosity with the Ruxtons for quite a while.
Yes, you all have.
Have we heard of the first instance of them? Like, when are they first talked about?
As far as anyone alive can really remember, they've just always been here.
But any research we would have done would have been at a government library or something along that line.
Dating back to at least before the creation of the outer walls and the directional precincts, there have been Ruxton. And before that, it's very hard to find information. From the founding of Isdell, when the first set of stone walls were first erected, the Ruxton were there. As the wooden walls were built to make the outer precincts, in the history and actual file systems really came into full swing and things were fully developed and organized, the Ruxton were there.
Very hard. But if it was written down somewhere, would it be in the archives?
it would be somewhere deep or deep in the archives, or possibly kept under the Grand Archivist, or like a particular like archivist section head's own personal
And
collection.
now all half the archivists could be part people.
We
Fuck.
need to ask one question. How deep does this go? And does the top even know about it?
It goes at least as high as Burnell Northek.
Yeah.
Higher than that, and I'm not sure.
Because the
We
superiors,
must-
the superiors may not care how it's achieved as long as they get the dissidents gone.
Can I get a combination of however you three are best at it of Arcana and Insight checks?
Oh, insight definitely for me.
It can be.
Anna?
Oh. Oh.
What a load of shit!
We know what's going on, guys. We do.
We're in front of the fucking conspiracy board. We got all the pieces in front of us, and we're like,
Bring out the new color yarn.
but
know how
where's
this works.
but where's the Chuck E. Cheese?
But guys, the reptilians, right?
You're looking at it, and
Lizard men.
the blanks, the parts that you don't know, are so nebulous and varying that you have no idea why this is happening or how this could be so like foundational to the functioning, or at least the history of this, one of the most advanced places in the entire known world. And these things in this process is fundamental to its structure somehow.
And yet formed off a regime of worse than slavery.
Eokus will look to the party. I believe we should proceed with two things in mind. 1 in 2 of everyone might be our enemies. Let me change that. 3 things. 1 in 2 of everyone we know might be our enemies.
The math doesn't work out, but I nod.
That includes the leadership at the highest level could be amongst them, and we will not know until the last moment.
Eokus, can I ask a question?
Hang on,
Yes?
Dante might be your saving grace. Can I either get an
Huh?
insight and Arcana check from you, Dante?
Insight or Arcana?
Yes, whatever's higher.
Natural 20.
The four of them, the four of you were pondering on how
Go.
or why the creation of Ruxtun could date back to, as they were discussing, before the outer walls were made. The inner walls are stone, and the outer walls are strong enchanted wood. So before those were crafted, the Ruxtun were here. And if the Ruxtun were here, that means that process had been happening. And why is this going on? And how? And you're all silent for a bit as they don't know. They fall back into conversation. You go into your own thoughts, and you have another revelation, just another basic fundamental thing you know from your field. Enchantment requires magic. Magic can be taken from souls. This whole place, the barrier above that keeps the weather out, the scrying stones that line the streets, all the conveniences and plentiful magic items, that takes energy, that takes magic, that takes souls. And you quietly realize this as the four of them are talking.
Eokus, is there a place in the archive that shows criminal judgment sentences, like what happened?
Where, Dante? Do you find this amusing, my friend?
This whole place.
Didn't sound like good laughter.
This whole place has been run by this creation of the dead.
What do you mean?
What is the building block of magic? You take something and turn it into something else, effectively.
Yeah,
You need energy.
you transmute it into something else.
Mhm.
You're changing its form.
People can use the energy they naturally create to create magic, I use it through what I create alchemically. The chemical reaction creates the magic that I use.
Of course, just like I asked my goddess for favors, she takes a portion of her power and manifests things.
What else can you use to create magic?
Tap into the world's natural ley lines. You can,
Ask
chant.
And
ask for power from something without.
and you can tap into souls.
Well, souls is the oldest currency of creation. What are you getting at?
If the Ruxton have always been here, since
Mhm.
before the creation of the Enchanted Wood Walls, the creation of the barrier, the fact that magical drugs are able to be created, souls could power all of that.
I look up. The dome's above us, right?
Yeah, you all could have moved outside at one point, or like walked with the conversation.
I don't need to actually look at it, but I look up. Like I know it's there.
Yep.
They created
I mean,
a
does
dam.
the city sit on a ley line that can be tapped into for power?
Yocus?
Ilkus would think it perhaps could, but any maps that would prove that or against it, of course, could be manipulated. But he looks at Dante. But who and why is my questions. Of course, all of this could be powered by souls, I suppose. But why?
It has to be core ups,
My
whether it is a secret subsect.
my first guess would be population control.
Why not more than one benefit at once? It's population control, it's energy, it's free workforce. It's insidious in itself. It solves many problems that honestly,
I believe the people who first created this system are long dead. Unless maybe they attained lichdom.
they've already found a way to pervert life.
I mean, I guess theoretically they could just constantly be creating clones of their bodies. When one wears out, they jump into the next.
My lord, I just start like praying. Like I just grab the holy symbol and just like praying for all the souls that have obviously been extinguished.
But there would be a paper trail, if not faint.
Well, that's what I was trying to ask before. Is there a paperwork trail of people that have gone for the third re-indoctrination?
Yeah, Yocus, you know Reformation. There is a well-documented history for everyone of first, second, and third offenses.
We have a list of the people that have been transformed. It's the third reclamation.
He will nod.
Are the people who go to the third reclamation ever seen again?
Yes, they are, but that's because they've been split
They
into
return
these.
obedient.
I'm not talking about the Roxanne. I mean, are they ever seen as themselves again?
No, they are. But here's the thing: they're always very compliant and obedient, despite how dissonant they were before.
Yocus is going to start shaking his head. I see what you are saying, Almer. And you are right, but not in the way that you think. We do not need to see the archives for that list. But what we need to see is the one who provides us with that list.
I mean, also that this is, if we stumbled upon the greatest, secret that this country is able to hide, then wouldn't it make sense that the corruption of this goes all the way up to the top and they control what actually gets put in the history books?
Not necessarily, because the higher governing bodies might not even know that this process ever existed. They came into the office.
But we must assume that they do. We must assume that all are against us and all know that we know they are against us. That is the only way that we can survive now.
I think we need to devise some sort of process of vetting people without tipping the hand that we know.
But how? How can we trust anyone? How can we trust her? And he will motion back.
How can I trust you?
You can trust her.
We can trust each other in ourselves. You have to believe it and you have to know it. Even if some of these people are cloned, the Ruxstunt here are kind. There's no reason to believe these docile people will do harm to us.
And there's no evidence that the creators of these abominations would create one just to put a spy in your midst.
Here's the
I
thing.
trust everyone I've let in.
Iocus, I trust her. I didn't come here by chance. I know it's hard to believe in something like faith. But there is such a thing as destiny. It's not always something set in stone, but it's a wind. It blows you to where you need to be, and you make the choices yourself.
Nia will interrupt. We need to stop. We need to eat. We need to drink. We need to laugh. We need to sleep.
That
we need to plan.
is the most intelligent thing I've heard today.
So
Agreed.
let's go upstairs. We have little in the way of food, but berries that will fill you, and enough water or wine to please you.
We bought a bunch of supplies, did we not?
Well, you would have enough stuff. I'd
Yeah.
say you have at least I'd say like a week's worth of food for each person, give or take.
Let's have a banquet. Let's just have a feast.
Yeah, it's enough to feed everyone decently. As you feast and get your bearings and continue to quietly converse here and there on some future ponderings. And
Sister.
this is where we'll end it. We'll pick up or be able to chat over what's going on and resume in 2 weeks' time, hopefully.
Guys,
Great game.
the Titans are in the
Fucking hell,
walls.
Al.
The Titans are in the walls.
I have been sitting on this for so fucking long. I'm very happy to get it out there.
Oh,
Mhm.
Iocus trusts no one. Everything has changed.
Every
I-
time Brad said the Ruxstunt aren't people, I laughed internally to like.
Because that's the opposite. Like, and here I am. I'm like trying to educate and be like, no, we'll get you back. We'll give you freedom.
Oh,
And then from what it
well
sounds like
done.
from that vision, you can't actually reverse the process.
Well,
To be researched.
we gotta find the process
He is
first.
immediately thinking, okay, we have here some people and some Ruxstuns that somehow think they are family. Cool. How have they determined that? Can it be reversed? We need to teach these Ruxstund, first of all, the concept of medical and or magical testing, the concept of informed consent,
Actually, I wonder.
and then teach them that we need to get them to consent to be tested upon.
You know that they
No,
are
no.
very compliant and they tend to just follow people's directions.
I actually
so that part
wonder
should be fairly easy.
if through alchemy, if there's a way to devise like a blood test.
I think
see, Iocus is saying that thing like holla thing, like until there's a way he knows that someone isn't a pod person, everyone is a pod person. All those Ruxstuns are potential plants. All of you are enemies
and
now.
technically there is a way we can tell without testing, at least to a certain degree, as long as the records are generally correct, which
But the records can't be trusted.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The government loves to fucking pump its own tires about its successes, right? So it's gonna be like, look at all of these people with their third reclamation. Look at them all. They're all great citizens. That's a fucking list of the pod people.
See, that's why Iocus, we don't need to go for the list. We have to give us who gave us the list, because that's the person who really knows.
Well, it'd be like a public knowledge thing, wouldn't it? You could just
Oh yeah. I mean, whoever
You could
submits
find
the
incidents, but
records.
If you wanted a master list, that would be a specific archivist, a head archivist who you could inquire.
Yeah, and then just
they
ask
know
them
something.
who sends these reports in. Do you?
You know, resume this, and you can try.
Who
see if
might,
Otis
but
can
the
relate
alchemist might be a
to
pod
chaos.
person and get pretty
Yep.
sus
Yeah.
about that. Ah, shit.
Well, see, that's why I was
Guys, we
saying-
might have to go full terrorist and just burn all this shit down.
Man, I
All
already
I
the
took
mean,
time.
I'm so I want to be like, oh,
Listen.
like stealth and dagger, but it's looking like we gotta burn
But
this.
Iokis, that was always the plan of revolution. We're just not the terrorist people, right?
All of a sudden, the silence of Baku don't seem so unreasonable.
I mean, they kind of do, but I mean,
I was about saying we do have,
do.
They're terrorists. They're not good people.
but
Yeah,
we
they're
do
not
have, I do have a automatic sending to their envoy anytime we need them.
if he lives long enough.
My enemy.
I let him loose with some
my
gold.
enemy is my friend.
Yeah. I mean, let's call
Yeah,
in the
the
terrorists and just
fucking
burn the go. But what if the
terrorists.
terrorists are pod people?
What are you saying, Toby?
Ah.
Oh, just get the terrorists